answering your audience questions. You can email them to us or leave us a voicemail. 219-2-DAVID-P is the voicemail number. Here's a voicemail audience question.
Hey, David. It's fellow David here. I have a question for you. I'm curious on your opinion. Now that Hawaii is the 16th state to pass some sort of act on marriage equality,
Right.
How soon do you think it'll take for some kind of a federal bill to be passed on marriage equality? As I highly doubt we'd have some kind of a situation where we have 49 states that have a marriage equality act of some sort and just one state standing out. So at what point do you think the balance will turn in favor for that to happen?
All right, this is a good question, Lewis, because we've talked about no matter how many moderate or progressive states legalize marriage equality, it's hard to imagine that the super conservative state legislatures of places like Mississippi and Alabama, et cetera, are ever going to do it unless it is forced on them from the federal government. At the same time, it's hard to imagine the federal government really imposing state by state marriage equality until there is some significant number of states that have legalized it. So, Lewis, obviously the answer is when 34 states have legalized marriage equality, we will get a bill from the federal government.
I don't know if that will happen, though. I mean, we've already had a ruling from the Supreme Court on this, and it seems that if states don't want to honor it, they're just going to be losing out on residents, on money, on any number of things. And so I don't think as soon as we cross that line, it will happen. I think it's more likely if there are only 4 or 5 states left that will happen. Other than that, I don't think it will.
Yeah, there's nothing magical about 34. My sense is that when, roughly 60 or 65%, around 2/3 of the states have legalized marriage equality, the federal government and or Supreme Court might say, okay, it's abundantly clear. We've now had, at that point, maybe it will be 5 or 10 years of polling showing that overwhelmingly, by a majority at least, maybe not overwhelmingly, Americans believe that there should be gay marriage, lesbian marriage, heterosexual marriage, etc. And 25, 30, 35 states have legalized it. I think both the federal government and Supreme Court will say, we just need to make this the law. It's abundantly clear this is the way it's going. Let's make it so. There's going to be huge resistance and some conservative holdouts. And I can only assume, Lewis, that the most conservative state legislatures will fight this to the very end.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're going to do anything they can to stop it. And I'm sure in some cases, not because any of these individual politicians care, but because it will get them reelected.
It's going to be a fundraising tool. It will be a tool around which to catalyze voters. Catalyzing voters around hate and discrimination is actually pretty effective. We know that historically. Good question. Keep your questions coming. 219-2-DAVID-P is the voicemail number, or email us through our website, davidpakman.com.